The bottom line is how you invoice your clients is costing you money and causing you a heap of stress. The other day I did a Facebook Live on businesses that send out invoices on the same day that they expect it to be paid. And it got a few comments, and out of that, one of the businesses said that they, as a result of poor customer paying, they were in debt $40,000. Like, that's rubbish. So I wanted to walk through how you can turn this around so that your invoicing isn't causing you heartache and is improving your cash flow. My name's Edward Plant from Lead a Better Business, and in this session of AskEd, I'm going to talk to you about how to turn your invoicing around to improve your cash flow. So there's 5 key things you need to know. And we're going to walk through these right now. But what happens if you don't get this right in your business is you end up with it being hard. It's hard because you end up in debt. Your customers don't pay, or are slow, or are paying, and you end up upsetting them, and it causes you stress. So the people that commented that had $40,000 in debt, that's causing them a lot of stress. It's much better in their pocket. What we want to do is make it easy for you, where you've got great cash flow, your customers are happy, and they give you referrals, and you are happy and in ease and not having to stress about invoices that are outstanding and all the problems that are caused. So we want to go from this to this. The way that we're going to do this is in 5 key areas. So what ends up happening is it starts back in the sales process. And what happens in that sales process, regardless of your business, is you don't set it up properly. So I was talking to a client the other day who had a bit of a cash flow problem in the fact that they sell a product, they've got to bring it in from Germany, and the order time and the payment time means that they're out of pocket significantly, and they're turning over a couple of $100,000 a month. So it really has a big stress component, particularly on the wife who manages that cash flow perspective and is the lead on that in the organisation. We did some careful orchestrating and renegotiated the setup with both some of their main customers, and they've got a couple of really big customers, and their supplier, which meant they extended the supply time or the payment time for that and reduced it over at this end, which meant they're actually now cash flow positive as opposed to being $50,000, $60,000 out of pocket a month. So the setup is really critical. You want to then be able to communicate the process. So I sort of think that from a customer experience perspective, you don't really mind what the process is as long as you know about it. It's when you don't know about it that it gets frustrating. And so part of my rant was this provider that we're using sent an email saying I had to sign all this paperwork to accept the terms and conditions and pay the full amount today. And that was the first I'd heard of it. It was like, well, I'm not dropping everything for this. And as a result, it'll get actioned on Fridays, which is when our business does the administration, contracts and payments. So that's how it rolls. But I didn't know the process, so I'm frustrated as a result of that. So you need to be able to clearly communicate the process of how you want to operate, which needs to be so that you're not holding debt for ages. The next thing you need to be able to really do is set up the expectations. So these are making sure the customer knows what's expected of them and what they can expect from you. So it's really clear, and there's nobody that's going to get their nose out of joint because they didn't know something. A key of all of these first three is your ability to communicate. And how you communicate this to really make sure that customers know it, your suppliers know it, and how it's all going to work. And that communication, this piece, can change the game for you. And so an example of this was, I was talking to a member of our networking organisation the other day, and he was saying he had a bit of bad debt. And I'm like, oh, what? Why? How come you don't do cash on delivery? He was a pest guy. And he said, no, we do, but we do a lot of remote work, and our system needs internet service, and we don't have internet. I'm like, oh, right. And so how much is that costing you, and what's happening as a result of that? And he's saying, oh, then we go to invoicing. It takes 7 to 14 days, but most of the time we have to chase people up, and we're looking at sort of $10,000 to $20,000 a month being caught up in that process because of the large amount of remote work we do. I'm like, oh, that's pretty rubbish. And he walked me through, and they've got an online system where they do everything online, payment automatically happens, and all those sort of things. So it's really easy when he's got reception, but he didn't have reception. And I said to him, why don't you take a photo of the credit card? He's like, what do you mean? I said, well, you're there. If you had the internet, you'd do the process there and have that take the person's credit card and process it. Why don't, instead of processing, you just take a picture of the credit card, and the minute you're in reception range, send it off and process it? He was like, oh, wow, that changed 10 to 20 grand a month for him. And so how to communicate it and setting up the expectation, the process, is really critical. But what we also, and so these are all rock solid and will improve the outcome for your business. The icing on the cake really is in the communication of the value. So some of these providers that I ended up reaching out to and having a chat to them about their terms and conditions, they came back and they explained some of them really well. I'm like, oh, that's fair. But dude, I didn't know that. So you've got to be able to communicate and show the value of why things happen that way, and show the value to the customer of what you do, how you're doing it, and why it's really important that they do what you need them to do. So the setup, the process, the expectations, to communicate the value. And I suppose what I'd really like you to do, and if you're in that spot, is if you're having trouble with bad debtors, customers paying slowly, and it's causing you stress, I'd love you to book in an action call right now, where we'll just give you some clarity and work out for you how to resolve this in your business. Now, if you're a husband and wife team, it may just be one person that needs to give me that call, but I'll clear my schedule for a couple of slots this week so that I can help you out, because it really is pretty crap if you get stuck with a heap of debt and you keep that happening in your business, and we can solve it pretty quickly using some of these steps, but some other strategies we've got as well. So jump on, just comment below and we'll schedule a call. But this is how to make sure you don't end up with $40,000 or more in bad debt. That's all I've got time for. Edward Plant from Lead a Better Business.